Hello everyone, welcome back to the workshop. Today I just want to give you all a bit of a winter update and a pre-move update. So quite a few things have been happening behind the scenes. Of course, some of you might have seen the short where I got the Warner & Swayze number 2A turret lathe. That thing is a monster. It'll be a fantastic addition to the shop. It'll allow me to do a lot of work I previously was not capable of doing, and I am over the moon with it. It's fantastic. A customer worked with me to finance the machine because the amount of work I'm going to do for them with it and the amount of work I do now for them justifies it. There's some tooling that came with it. These are all threading masters for doing Acme threads. He's here. I don't remember which one that goes to. Goes to one of them. I've got some more. That feature is extremely nice because it means I can make my own masters and do any production threads I want. I've got some more down there. I got a full set of collets from 3/8 inch all the way up to 3.5 inch. About a full set. There's a couple sizes that are missing, but I have about all of them. It's an interesting two-piece design. You got the collet wrench too, but it's seen better days. I might make a new one. I don't know. The shop is completely torn apart. The surface grinder that was here got sold. I never use it, or I didn't ever use it. It was a bench, really. I used it for grinding tools a couple times, and I used it for grinding a couple of parts, but I didn't need to surface grind those parts. So I sold it. It was a bunch of money that was just tied up and doing nothing in floor space, which is always a premium. The radial arm drill is also for sale because that machine is too small for the work I'm doing. 3 horsepower is not enough horsepower to run big drills and really do work. It's a fantastic drill if you're just using twist drills for the occasional hole up to 1.5 inches, but other than that, you know, it's not what I need. I need something that'll be able to push big spade drills, 1 7/16 up to 2 inch. I've got a 2 5/8 spade drill, and that's where the turret lathe comes in. It'll do that just fine. Got some more tooling with the turret lathe. Got this bed clamp. I got, of course, it's messy. Got this tool post, and I got this tool post that I'm using now. I like this tool post. It's pretty nice. It's really rigid, quick to index tools. I might be using this one from now on. I don't know. I don't have that many quick change tool post tooling, so one of these works out just fine for me. I also got this fantastic metal pallet. I'll use it for scrap and for moving stuff around. This thing is pretty cool. And the piece de resistance is the little generator that you guys just saw if you watched the previous video. I have it on a skid now. I try to use not high compression, I guess high force, I don't know, the valve springs as isolators. That didn't work. I stepped on one of them and it held my weight, but this generator is pretty heavy. So I'm gonna get rubber isolators for it. I was just running it, seeing if there's any issues with the cooling system. There's no gas coming out. Head seems to be in good shape. It seems to pump water just fine. I did a little bit of rewiring on it. We'll see if it wants to start. Give it a little bit of fuel. The carburetor leaks some, and it's got a really weird, the generator itself has a really weird issue, so I'll show you. Turn it on. And the ground isn't in the best of condition. Oh, come on. You were just fine earlier. So as you can see there, she's producing DC power, which is not the kind of power I need, which is kind of unfortunate. I don't know how to rectify that, literally. It's a 4-pole generator. It's just 4 poles, brushes. I don't know if it needs to be excited. I don't know if that's normal. I don't know. It produces a little bit of AC power. Maybe it needs something else to run. I don't know. Maybe I need a motor of some kind to get it to generate AC power, but I don't know why it's doing that. It could be a loose contact. I'm going to build a nice instrument panel for it. I did the math, and this does not fit underneath the bar feeder for the turret lathe, so it will not be going there. It still is probably going to go in the shop itself, in the shipping container, or not shipping container, but the reefer shop. But it runs, it makes power, it just doesn't make the right power, which is really unfortunate. I think it'll be a fairly easy fix. And so now what I'm going to do with the rest of my day, because it's not great out there, is clean all this up and get it ready for the move. Because as soon as I can get that thing to make the right kind of power, and I can get a rotary phase converter, Adam over at Small Time Machine Shop, check out his channel if you haven't seen it. Fantastic channel. Posts much more regularly than I do. He's going to give me his old 15 horsepower rotary phase converter set, which is the right size for everything I've got, and that'll be fantastic. So we'll see what I can do with that little generator. Still got some jobs to complete before I move, but I'm going to clean all this crap up because it's pretty bad in here between moving the surface grinder, getting all the tooling for the turret lathe in here, and just generally being busy. Have not had time to clean, so with all that being said, please like and subscribe if you want to see more, and enjoy this little clip of the turret lathe that I took when it was nicer out. Well, the weather's cleared up a bit, so here's the turret lathe in all of her glory. Nice little machine. When the rain happened, I covered it up with a tarp and used an old sweatshirt to start covering things up. Got a little bit of surface rust on it. Handles and over here, but none of the ways got anything. This thing has a really unusual way guard system, one that I haven't seen before. So this way cover and this way cover are connected to the turret. This way cover is connected to the carriage, and there's another way cover underneath here. You can almost see that's connected to the carriage, because I'm moving the carriage back and forth there, and so that basically ensures that as long as you pump oil in there, those ways are clean. Oil and chips and debris and stuff just can't get in there. So this machine, it saw a lot of use, obviously, but it's really, really smooth. Some of the other ways aren't so lucky, like the carriage ways here. On the cross slide, they're a bit more exposed. Everything on this thing is dirty and greasy, so I'm going to have to do a lot of cleaning on it. These ways here, I don't think they've ever really been used. I don't know what. There's a couple operations that I could see wanting to move the turret over, but for what I'm doing, it won't be. As you can see, so this weight cover passes through the carriage of the, through the carriage, the cross slide. And you can see those ways moving as I move this guy. The turret and everything is nice and free. I can bring this guy down all the way. And if you get it kind of close and then you bring this up a little bit, it'll click over. It's already got 2 5/8 inch spade drill in it. This is a number 5 holder. This is one size bigger than I actually need to do a lot of the parts that I'm doing. I need a number 4. So once I get a number 4, I'll have a 0, 1, 2, 3, and a 4. So, and a 5, sorry. So I'll have a lot of these spade drills. Cross slide. It's got several different tools with it that are on the machine. So this is a boring bar holder, probably 1.5 inches. It's got a sleeve in it, or not a boring bar, but just a round tool holder. You can put whatever you want in it. You've got this boring bar holder, an 1820 boring bar holder. I think that's a 2 inch or 2.5 inch hole, probably 2.5. Pretty substantial. Sorry, pretty substantial. Another one of these guys, and a stubby little holder, short one. So the collet chuck that's in it, I thought it had 2 inch collets in it. I was wrong. It's got 3 5/16, or no, 3 3/16. Sorry. And this collet system is really nice. It's weird, but it's kind of nice. This and this are separate pieces that you can change out the pads and not change out the tapered section, because this, I believe they did that because this collet system has such a big range. It goes from 3/8 inch all the way up to 3.5, that it's just more economical to make these a 2-piece at some point. I do have the chuck wrench and everything. Collet system does function on it. I don't have any 3 3/16 inch material to really test it, but that works. It's got a ratcheting bar feeder, which I'll show you guys when I set it up. So it's got a taper attachment over here. Some of them, a lot of activity around here. Some of them had another taper attachment back here. This machine doesn't have one, which is fine by me. I don't think I'm going to be using it anyways. It's got a fairly big coolant system. Really nice coolant pump back here that runs off of a little flat belt. It's got this shaft here. I think this is for the rapids. This machine does have rapids. Oh, you can sit there and engage and disengage the pump, and that pump is seized. Well, I have another pump similar to that, so I'll be putting a new coolant pump on here. The bug just flew into my eye. I think this here is filter for the headstock. They've got a a chuck guard here, which makes sense. If you're spinning this thing at high speeds, you don't want your coolant and oil and everything to go everywhere. It's got several outputs for your coolant. You got this guy, got this pipe, you got this here. So I'll have to, I don't know if I'm going to replace that pump. I didn't realize it was pretty well seized. I don't know if I'll replace it or what. motor and everything turns freely. Here's another chunk of waveguard. This section, I believe, goes up to the carriage. It's very unusual. Yeah, that goes up to the carriage. It's very nice, but unusual the way the stops and the way covers are designed on this machine. Different stops for the carriage. There's stops for the turret. It's got threading capabilities. With this guy, you can take it and clamp it wherever you need. Which is pretty nice. You can make, if I ever need to do threading on this, it's only set up for Acme at the moment. But if I ever do threading on this, I'll probably end up having to make my own threading sort of masters. And the tool post, which also functions pretty smooth. It's a wedge type tool post, so it uses these wedges instead of having just a flat tool, which would be nice if I used high-speed steel, but I don't. I use exclusively carbide, so these are going to have to go. I'm going to pull this off, and I'll either modify this turret and put sort of spacers in here, mill everything down and put spacers in it, or I'll try to find another turret and see if anyone wants to buy this one. But this is not the style of turret I want. Not really a deal breaker for the machine, at least not for me, but it's a minor annoyance. So I'll have to address that. It's got the neat pre-selecting head, so you rotate this around to whatever speed you want, and then whenever you bring this handle down, there we go. If you bring this handle down and she wants to go in gear, then it'll go in gear. Let's see if we can try another one. Yeah, I guess the motor's not on, so I don't quite know if it's actually going into gear or not. Yeah, that one's definitely not going into gear, but it's a really neat system. There we go, that's in gear. So then you can just, that's in gear, brake. I forget how you go into reverse, but I like the system. It's got a mounting bracket up here for a powered chuck wrench. I am going to reposition the motor on it. I'm going to take the motor and either put it behind the machine, because this is going to go into the reefer shop, and I need as much floor space as I can get, and this machine is not efficient with its floor space. But if I can take this motor and save probably 20 inches of room, because I'll take the motor off, I'll take the motor mount off, I'll take the plate that the motor's mounted on, all of this, so that the machine can sit against the wall that sits right here. Then I can shove this against the wall even further and have more floor space. It's also going to, the motor's, I don't know if it's going to go back here or if it's going to go up top above the headstock. I haven't decided that yet. I might also make a motor tower so that the motor sits just how it is now, but you rotate it 180 degrees so it sits up there and has a tower. I haven't decided yet. That would be nice, because then I could make a track system and have the motor move up and down to tension the belt. I'll have to figure all that out once I'm out of the property. For now, it's going to go in there as it is, but eventually I'll take all that off to save room. This is the chunks for the ratcheting bar feed mechanism. Basically, there's a ratchet in there, a big ratcheting bar can see it right there. It's got notches cut on it. And there's a holder that clamps onto your bar stock. And as this bar moves backwards and forwards through a lever in the headstock, it'll bring your material in towards you, however much you need. So you set up a stop in the turret, bring your stop forwards, undo your collet, and then you can ratchet your bar forwards towards the headstock to feed it. And you can reset your collet, move to your first tool, and do all that without taking one step. It's very, very fast and very, very efficient. And it'll help me make parts faster because I don't have to manhandle any bar stock to get it into the machine. I can just use the bar feeder. So that'll be pretty good. That'll be really nice. So let me go inside and show you guys some stuff.